Hi, I'm Sarah from Knitting-and.com. This week I'm going to show you how to make a flower out of fabric yo-yos, or as I call them, Suffolk puffs. You'll need 6 Suffolk puffs in the same colour for the petals and 1 in a different colour for the centre. You'll also need something to sew in the middle of the flower. I'm using this little button. I showed you how to make Suffolk puffs in last week's video, so if you don't know how to make them and you didn't see the video, go on over to YouTube and you'll find it there. Take one of your Suffolk puffs that you're using for the petal, hold the back and pull it so that the gathers are on one side. Now take a needle and thread and put it through the gathered section like that. Do that for all 6 petals. They'll all be on the same piece of thread. Pull that through and leave an end because you don't want it to come off. Now do that for all 6 of the petals. I've got all 6 of my petals on the thread now. I'm not worried about what they look like at the moment. I'll tidy them up in a minute. The next step is to tie the thread in a knot. You want to use quite a strong thread for this because you're pulling it quite tight. Don't pull it as tight as you can because you want to be able to rearrange the petals. Just pull it tight enough so that they sit together nicely. Tie a second knot. And you might want to tie a third one just to make sure. Don't cut the thread yet. You want to make sure that you've got it right before you cut the thread. So arrange your petals. If they won't sit nicely by themselves, you can steam them if you've used a fabric that can handle the heat. There we are. My petals are sitting nicely now. Now before I cut the thread, I'm going to do a couple of stitches on the back just to make sure that it won't come undone. 3 stitches on top of each other is enough. And do that with both ends. Here are my petals all finished. Now I'm going to sew the centre on. To start with, I'm going to anchor my thread on the back with 3 little stitches again. I prefer to do this because it just lasts longer. You can put this on with either side as the top, doesn't matter. You could use a big button instead and glue it on, whatever you like. I'm going to sew that in the middle. To do that, take 1 stitch, a small stitch from the petal, and then a little stitch underneath the yo-yo like that. And just do that all the way around. 1 stitch from the petal, and then 1 stitch into the fabric yo-yo. That will be completely invisible once you've finished sewing it on. So I'm going to keep going all the way around like that, and then I'll show you how to finish off the centre. I've sewn the centre on all the way around, and now I'm just going to put the thread through to the back. Near the middle, and give it a few stitches just to hold it tight. Stop it coming undone. Just like before. 1, 2, 3. And the last step is to just sew on whatever you've chosen for the centre. You can glue it on if you want to, if it doesn't need to be washed. That's fine. So I'm just going to sew this on. I've secured my thread with 3 stitches in the middle, just like I did before. Now I'm going to sew on the button and I'll show you what it looks like. And then we have my finished flower next to the one that I showed you at the beginning. As you can see, you can make them in different sizes. Just use different size fabric yo-yos or Suffolk puffs. You can use different things in the middle. You can leave it plain if you want to. This is a self-cover button. You can use a small Suffolk puff. Anything you can think of, really. Whatever you fancy. A circle of felt. Whatever you like. And that's how easy it is to make a flower out of Suffolk puffs or fabric yo-yos.